And the latest mantra for this is Lord's Prayer, because Christ is the one who removes all our negativity. So Lord's Prayer is the best for keeping this Agnya all right, and it will for using that. After realization, before realization it has no meaning. It's just words. But after realization, Lord's Prayer is very good. And of course, you must have all the detailed idea about the whole thing, and that's the way it should be. Now the mantra of Agnya is the Lord's Prayer. It has got two sides, hum and sham. Hum means I am, and sham means I forgive. So if supposing this is catching, you have to say I forgive. If there is ego within us, you should say I forgive. If there is superego within us, you should say I am. I am. So it is hum and sham is the bija, is the seed of the prayer, Lord's Prayer.
Ganpati Pure has a special significance. Because he is Mahaganesha. The Ganesha at Muladhara becomes Mahaganesha in the Virata, that is the brain. That means it is the seat of Sri Ganesha. That means Sri Ganesha governs. From that seat, the principle of innocence. As you know very well, it is placed at the back in the region of optic thalamus, optic lobe as they call it. And it is the giver of innocence to the eyes. When he incarnated as Christ, which is in here in the front at Agnya, he said very clearly that thou shalt not have adulterous eyes. It's a very subtle saying, which people don't understand. What is the meaning of the word adulterous? Adultery means impurity, in a general word. Any impurity in the eye thou shalt not have. It's very difficult. Instead of saying that you get your realization and clear your back Agnya, he has said it in a very short form, thou shalt not have adulterous eyes. And people thought it's an impossible situation. Because he was not allowed to live long. Actually, his public life is limited to 3.5 years only. So whatever he says has a very great significance. That your eyes should not be adulterous. When there is innocence, there is no adultery. It means there is no impurity. तर ह्या संबंध विश्वाचं काय होईल ते मला सांगता येत नाही. तरी सर्वांना विनंती आहे की आपल्या डोळ्यातला दूषितपणा काढून टाकला पाहिजे. त्यासाठी आपल्याकडे सहयोगामध्ये मंत्र निर्विचारचा आहे. विचारच येऊ द्यायचा नाही. कोणत्या गोष्टीकडे बघून जर विचार आला तर यन्नेती नेती वचन आहे. काय हे नाही हे नाही हे नाही म्हणत जायचं. किंवा क्षमा केली असं म्हणत गेलं की तो विचार नष्ट होतो आणि निर्विचारिता एकदा आली म्हणजे दूषितपणा येण्याचा मार्गच खुंटतो. सर्वांनी पूर्णपणे प्रयत्न करावा की डोळे दूषित नसावे. ह्या डोळ्यांनी जर दूषितपणा येत असेल तर ते डोळे नको असं श्री संत तुकारामांनी म्हटलेलं आहे. त्यापेक्षा आंधळाच बरा मी. तेव्हा एक परेचं असं म्हटलं पाहिजे की ह्या दूषित गोष्टींच्याकडचं आंधळेपणच बरं आणि परमेश्वराकडचं डोळस पण. ह्या दोन्ही गोष्टींची जेव्हा सांगड बरोबर बसेल तेव्हा असं म्हणता येईल की सहयोगी आता गुरुपदाला गेलेले आहेत. माझा तुम्हा सर्वांना पूर्ण आशीर्वाद आहे की आज ह्या पुण्याला जे महागणपतीचे स्थान आहे त्याच्या विशेष कृपेने तुम्हा सर्वांना लवकरच गुरुपद मिळावे. Let us say Lord's Prayer. Once we say.
We'll say the Lord's Prayer together.
Put your hands like this and now say the Lord's Prayer.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
May God bless you. But Christ has said, perhaps he knew the modern people as they would be using their brains for this. He said, thou shalt not have adulterous eyes. What a vision in those days to think. I mean, even I could not understand it when I was in India. After only coming here, I could see that what did it mean. It's a possession on the eyes, possession. It's a joyless, useless behavior. It's tiring. Attention is frittered away completely. There's no dignity. I should be steady. When you look at somebody steadily, you should know that you have got Sergio by you. With love, with respect, with dignity. Not staring at people and just playing into the hands of these possessions. The whole society is possessed. All the satanic forces have been let loose, I think. And the way people are possessed, they cannot see through these things. And they are supposed to be Christians. Attention is to be looked after. That's the most important thing, because attention is the one which is going to be enlightened. So, we have to put our carnal desires, dissolve them into the innocence, the ocean of innocence. You have to dissolve it in the ocean of innocence. Innocence is something to be appreciated, to be understood. to be enjoyed. Like you see animals, they are innocent. You see children, they are innocent. Flowers, they are innocent. Divert your attention to all these things. You see, on walking on the street, what is there to see best? Is all at 3 feet height. You see at 3 feet height all the flowers, all the beautiful grass, all the children who are about 3 feet are the best. We need not see people who are above that. Just see on 3 feet level. You can see the legs of somebody, that's all right. But you don't see the eyes of a person who are not innocent.
In the center we have got the evolutionary power. By this power only we have evolved, which is the conscious mind. This moment, now, at this moment. We can say that the past and future cross like that, and in the center is that point. Or we can say like this, that the past, the future and the past, they pass like this in the center and they pass out. So the thoughts from the past come to the future and the future to the past. But they cannot stay at conscious. For example, I say now, at this moment. Stop it, you cannot. Why? Because of thoughts. The thought rises, goes up and falls down and disappears by itself. Again another thought rises and again falls down, disappears. Now you can see
the rising of the thought, but you cannot see the falling of the thought. In between these two thoughts, there is a little gap known as Vilamba in the Sanskrit language. That is the point of conscious mind. The thoughts can come from the supraconscious side, or can come from the collective subconscious, can even come from the preconscious, or can even come from the subconscious. That's how the thought waves are. But if you have to jump into the conscious mind itself, now, at this moment, you cannot do it, because at that point there is no thought.
between the two thoughts, for example, a thought rises and falls off, and another thought rises and falls off. Between these two thoughts, there is a little gap. That gap has expanded. For example, the thought that was is the past, and that is going to come is the future. In between is the space called as Vilam. And when you start thinking about it, you jump onto the cusp of these thoughts. You are beyond thought. An Indian will understand it faster because it's called as Nirvichara Samadhi. It's the state where you become thoughtlessly aware. They know that that's what it is. You cannot think about it. Because rationality is a limited thing. So you have to jump into the space. When you are in the space, then you are not in the capsule. But if you are in the capsule, you are not in the space.
ना है ये सहज में अंदर उपस्थित होती है, जिसके कारण हमारी जो चेतना है वो एक नए आयाम में उतरती है, एक नई चीज घटित होती है। जब तक ये घटना नहीं होती है तब तक हम क्या बोल रहे हैं, कृष्णमूर्ति को बक रहे हैं। वो भी एक अंधे और तुम भी एक अंधे, और मैं सुनती रहती हूँ अचंभे से कि क्या बड़ी बड़ी बातें कर रहा है ये लड़का, कि फलाना है, इसमें ऐसा हो जाता है, उसमें ऐसा हो जाता है। पूछा कि किसने बताया? कृष्णमूर्ति। अब कृष्णमूर्ति कोई पार आदमी नहीं है, तो पक्की बात है, अगर पार होते तो ऐसी बातें नहीं करते। पार आदमी जो है अथॉरिटी से बताता है, ये है, ये है, ये है, इसे देखो, कोई भी देखो। कृष्ण ने कहा कि सर्वधर्माणाम परित्यज्य मामेकम शरणं व्रज। कोई डर नहीं उसको, कह दिया उसने साहब। क्राइस्ट ने कहा आई एम द डोर, आई एम द पाथ, सब उससे खास खास गए, आई एम द लाइट। कोई किसी के बाप का डर नहीं, कह दिया हाँ है। कबीर कैसे कहते हैं, पांचों पचीसों पकड़ बुलाऊंगा। क्या हिम्मत की बात, एक ही डोर बंधाऊंगा, मैं करूंगा। ये तो नहीं कि घिघिया रहे भगवान के सामने में, क्या भगवान मुझे मिल, जिसको मिल गया है वो विरह क्यों गाएगा। इसलिए अगर तुमको भाई सबको भी पढ़ना चाहिए तो ये गलत बात है। तुम खोज रहे हो, जिसको मिल गया है उसको पढ़ो। अब जब तुम भी खोज रहे हो और दूसरा भी खोज रहा है, अब जो खोज रहा है उसके पढ़ोगे तो तुम भी उसके साथ गए गड्ढे में। समझ लो उसको, वो गड्ढे में है तो तुम भी गए, तुमको क्या मालूम वो ठीक है या नहीं। इसलिए जय कृष्णमूर्ति को तुमने जो पढ़ा है, तो जय कृष्णमूर्ति कहीं ये तो नहीं बोलते कि मुझे कुछ मिला है या मुझे कोई अनुभव हुआ है। फिर ऐसे आदमी को पढ़ने में इसलिए मजा आता है कि वो हमारे जैसा दुखी है और हम भी उसके जैसे दुखी है। सूरदास के भजन इसलिए अच्छे लगते हैं कि हम भी भगवान को खोज रहे हैं और वो भी गिया रहा है भगवान के लिए कि भगवान कब मिलोगे, कब मिलोगे। और मिलन के गीत कोई गाए तो अच्छे नहीं लगते, ऐसा लगता है कि ये तो मिलन के गा रहा है और हम तो यहाँ भी यहीं बैठे हुए।
तो ये कृष्णमूर्ति जी जो है, ये फंडामेंटल रेवोल्यूशन का भी तो बात करते हैं।
बात करते हैं ना, बात तो वो उसने भी,
मुझे नहीं पता ये बात।
हाँ हाँ, अरे बेटे बात करना दूसरा हुआ, करना दूसरी बात होती है। और बात करते हैं, बात करने से क्या है, तुम भी बात करोगे, बात से बात, बात से बात, बात से बात, इससे तो बहुत कुछ हो गया। बातों का तो जमाना नहीं रहा, अब तो कुछ करने का जमाना आ गया, कुछ देखने का।
हमारे लिए तो फिर कुछ पता नहीं लगता ना कि जब तक प्रैक्टिकली कोई नहीं मिले सबको पढ़े ही जाए, पढ़े ही जाए।
नहीं नहीं, हम तो कितनी मेहनत कर रहे, तुम्हारे ऊपर कर रहे कि नहीं।
So now we are coming to the conscious mind. Conscious mind is the one in that area which is a very short time, very short time. Between the future and the past is just a little time, very little time. It's called as Vilamba in the Sanskrit language. It's a very, very, very small little time. And we cannot stop there. So that area, suddenly you touch the, you can say, the light. And then you see. So then you know what it is. Then again you are thinking about the past. Or you think about the future. That time you know what you are thinking. But then you come to the conscious area and you know, oh, I have been thinking like that, I should not. Because you are moving all the time on waves. In between these two waves is the conscious mind. Little, very little less than in the beginning. Alright? Now below that is the unconscious mind, you can say. Actually it is above, but we can say below. Just now to explain. Like the waves rising this way, that way, in between there's little gap. And there where in the conscious mind you are touching that light of the unconscious mind. So that unconscious mind, what we call as unconscious mind, is that aura or the light of the self. So every moment you are conscious of your unconscious mind. Conscious in the sense that you know that the unconscious mind moves, that's what. It's really remarkable how it's made. So the thought that starts moving in our mind all the time, which creates tensions, is not the thought of the spirit. So, what you should say? Not this thought. Not this thought. Yanneti neti vachanai nigamo avochus. Not this thought, not this thought, not this thought. And see how you relax. Now you are relaxing. Not this thought, not this thought. Just go on refusing, accepting any thought. So you go into Nirvichara. In that state, you feel the spirit.
Introspect and witness. Now for a Saj Yogi to keep his Mahalakshmi principle all right, has to always introspect, not to look at others but to introspect. What am I doing? Am I in the left side or on the right side? Which side I am going? What side I am following? Am I in the center? Now, how will you judge? The best is to feel your vibrations. Feel your vibrations. But sometimes you go so far to the left or to the right that you just do not feel vibrations, your Mahalakshmi principle is not working. Then you go on. It's like a complete derailment, I should say, a kind of a slope on which you just go on falling onto that. The way you are sometimes growing shows that you don't understand your kalima. You don't know what you are, how much the whole atmosphere has worked out for you. The science has been worked out. Science is a gift of the nature. All this has been worked out for you to achieve the highest state in the shortest time. But for that, one has to be extremely introspective. Instead of thinking of what you have to achieve, be introspective. This introspection will help you, and you will really become real gurus. When you go to other villages, other places, other cities, people should know from your being itself that some great person has come. You don't have to tell, don't have to certify. It's a simplicity of your temperament itself. But when he forgives, and as a result of that forgiveness, you feel the gratitude, then his blessings start flowing towards you. He gives you tremendous capacity to forgive others. He pacifies your anger. He pacifies your lust. He pacifies your greed. Like beautiful dewdrop, his blessings come on our being, and we become really beautiful flowers. And we start shining in the sunshine of his blessings. Now he uses his wrath or his destructive power to destroy all that tries to trouble us. He protects realized souls at every point, in every way. Negative forces try to attack a Sahajogi, but they are all neutralized by his tremendous power of protection. Through his vibratory awareness, we are guided into right path. All the beautiful blessings of his are described in the Psalm 23, isn't it? That's the 23 Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd. Is all described how he looks after you like a shepherd. But he does not look after the evil people. He destroys them. Those who enter into Sahaja Yoga are still carrying on with their evil nature are destroyed. Those who come to Sahaja Yoga and do not meditate and do not try, he destroys. Or they are thrown out of Sahaja Yoga. Those who murmur against God and live in a way that is not behoving as Sahajogi, he removes them from. By one force he protects, by another force he throws away. But his destructive forces, when they are built up too much, then we call it now the Ekadasha Rudra is active. Now this Ekadasha Rudra will be expressed when the Kalaki itself will start acting, means the destructive power which will destroy all that is negative on this earth and save all that is positive. So it is very necessary for Sahajogis to expedite their ascent, not to be satisfied with the social life or married life or with all the blessings that God has bestowed upon us. We always see what God has done for us, how He has been miraculous to us, but we have to see what we have done to ourselves. What are we doing about our own ascent and growth?
So whenever a thought comes like that, you must know that you have not attained the thoughtless awareness in its full extent. And that's how you have problems which are three-dimensional. Sometimes a Sahaja Yogi will find an emotional will come into his mind. It will be an emotion of dejection or frustration, and he'll be disgusted with himself or with others. Both things are just the same. I've seen some Sahaja Yogis get very disgusted with others. There should be no disgust that is lasting. Of course, for a short time you might feel a disgust, it's all right, it's a passing phase. Or you might feel disgusted with yourself, maybe a passing phase. But if you go on hankering on to it, or if you go on clinging to it, that means you are conditioning yourself. That means you are not in thoughtless awareness. That means that you are in your past. You are making your past a solid mass on your head. In the present, everything is fleeting. Everything is fleeting. That is not eternal. In the present, the eternal stays. The rest all drops out. It's like a moving river which doesn't stop anywhere. But the moving river is eternal. The rest of the things are all changing. If you are on the eternal principle, all that is not eternal changes and drops out, dissolves and becomes non-existent. We have to understand our own dignity, our own essence. The first and foremost is that all the Sahaja Yogis are the chosen ones. They are the people whom God has chosen. In this city of Delhi there are thousands and thousands of people. All over the world there are so many people that we are suffering from overpopulation. But in Sahaja Yoga there are very, very few people. And when you are chosen the first, you must also realize that you are the foundation. You are the stones that are to be laid down and have to be strong, have to be forbearing. And that's why it is necessary that all of you who are now few, who are the first lamps that are going to enlighten other lamps in the world, you have to enjoy the strength of eternity, the strength of divine love, the strength of this universal being that you are. This is what meditation is. So when Sahaja Yogis ask me, what should we do for meditation? You be in thoughtless awareness, that's all. Don't do anything. At that time, not that you are moving towards the good or that the unconscious is taking charge of you. Not only that, but also you are emptying. For the first time, the divine into the nature, into your surroundings. into other people who are universally connected to you. Only thing is that we are used to one thing, that is we must do something about it. And that's why we start doing something. Meditation is the most sahaja method. Then we have prayers and we have also puja. Prayers are also, if said in your heart, with the feeling of complete surrendering and asking for the eternal, it will be granted. Just ask for that and the rest will take, because they move step by step.
You have to work it out. For that, of course, meditation is very important. But the thing that stops it is your mind. It's your mind that goes on telling you. All the time you watch your mind, how it tries to guide you, how it tries to tell you, now, what about me? What about my house? What about my children? What about my country? Like that, you go on my, ultimately you end up into nothing. But when you say, you. Kabira has said a beautiful thing about it. He says that when the goat is living, it is saying, meh, means I. But it dies. Then they take out the intestine and put it on a dhunki, where they put it for the cleaning of the cotton. And that time, what does that dhunki say? Tu hi. You are the one. You are. And that echoes all over. In the same way, you have to think from others' point of view. First of all, tu hi, when you say it to your guru or to God, that you are. I am no more. I am dissolved. I am finished. I am become one with this ocean of love. And then you say to others, you are. That is search culture.
This I-ness has to go away. That is what meditation is, where you are no more I, but it is you. Kabir Das ji has written a beautiful poem about it. That when the goat is living and kicking, she says, my, that is I. But then she dies, and her intestines are drawn out into wires, and some saint fixes them on the tutari, that instrument that they have, ek tari as they call it. And he goes on pulling it with his fingers. Then it says, tu hi. That is, you are. That is how we have to die, and we have to be resurrected.
But to make the spirit shine, you see, to work on your nerves, that sheen has to go away, otherwise it will never work. Whatever you do, it should please me is one of the ways. It should please me. That's one of the signs. So how do we do it? Put me in your heart. Just try to put me in your heart. It's very simple. I am before you now. I am in person. I was trying to give realization to one of my relations today. And I said that you don't close your eyes. He said, no, I'm not looking at your face. Because when I see you, I feel you are my aunt. But I'm just looking at your feet so that I shouldn't feel any more that you are my aunt. You are very great. And your face is the one that puts me into illusions. He could see, it's a Mahamaya. He said, only at your feet I look. And through your feet only, I can get over this barrier, this feeling. In the same way, when I am a Mahamaya, I know I am, I had to be. But you have to put my feet into your heart. Just my feet into your heart. Because photo, face, everything might be an illusion. Might be by seeing my face, you do not get over your barriers. To say, I must see mother, I must do this, mother must come to my house, she must have food at my place, she must visit my home. All this is so stupid, I cannot understand what's the matter with these people. Mother, please come in my heart. Let me clean my heart so that you are there. Put your feet into my heart. Let your feet be worshipped in my heart. Let me not be in delusion. Take me away from illusions. Keep me in reality. Take away the sheen of superficiality. Let me enjoy your feet in my heart. Let me see your feet in my heart. Only such people. Even Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesha have done that. So don't you think you have to do it? So humble down yourself. Humble down yourself in your heart. Humble down in your heart. Enjoy your humility. Enjoy your virtues. The greatest virtue of a Sahaja Yogi is humility.